G'day and welcome to Outer Reaches, a great map, massive conflicting map. You have proper G'day and welcome to the conflict zone of Outer Reaches, one of the biggest, baddest fucking maps in the game. Shit just goes down on this map, and look who we have playing. Just, oh my god, this is like a wet dream for DAO 2 player fans. We have HolyHammer, arguably one of the best players in the entire world, versus Tex, and you guys already know what I think of Texanius. He's just fucking beyond awesome. I love that guy. And this is going to be a brilliant game. This is actually, I believe, the second game out of a best of 3. I did not have all the replays, but this was posted on GR and it was called Clash of the Titans, and fucking oath, that's exactly what it is. Clash of the Titans, Tex and Holy. Let's see what they do. Now HolyHammer's playing the Chaos Lord, as you can see, which is unusual for him. I don't see HolyHammer play a lot of Chaos, to be honest. So he seems to be a much more orky kind of player. And I have been seeing Tix rocking the Tyranids quite a lot recently, and I don't believe Tyranids is really his best race, but he does, have, well, I mean, he's Tex, isn't he? So, I mean, it's not like he's crap at it. So let's have a quick look here. We've got a double Heretic squad, and one tack for Holy, which is a very, very common build for the Chaos Lord due to his extremely high synergistic power of the worship for the Corn worship, which is probably the most powerful of all the worships. That speed boost is so useful, and it really does completely alter how you play the game, and having the two units just makes a huge difference. And we have a double Terminate Brood coming out for Tex, which most likely means we're going to see a ranged blob of doom. But we might not. I mean, the ranged blob of doom is quite powerful. The multiple mass Zoetrope build is quite strong. But I was just about to say, Noise Marines will come out and can really destroy the ranged blob Tyranid attacky thing. So we'll probably see one, and here it comes. Meanwhile, we also have a Warrior Brood coming out, which is a standard in the build order to create the Blob of Doom. Usually if they're going for full Blob of Doom, though, they actually build a third Terminate squad. So it looks like we'll see. It depends how quickly HolyHammer reveals his Noise Marines, because these will completely change Tex's decisions in the next few build orders. And he finally sees them, and they're going to have to get out of their quit smart. With these Warrior Broods should be attacking straight towards the... Yeah, and they're going to run straight back to base and kite these guys straight into... Yes. So let's have a look how the capping order's going. The capping's going pretty well. It's definitely in the favour of Holy, which is surprising. Tyranids... Well, I confused myself for a sec there. I got all backwards. Yeah, so the capping war is in the favour of HolyHammer, which it surprises me because Tex is so good at that kind of thing. But then again, I had to just quickly remind myself that Tyranids themselves, part of, with the synapse and just the entire way they function, you can see the power of the Noise Marines right now driving off that entire blob because it drives them into melee. But one of the things about Tyranids, because of the synapses and the way they all work, is that you have to blob up your forces for them to be really effective, especially in Tier 1. And of course that completely negates map control unless you are killing units, because you are just unable to be in all different positions at once, which is probably what he's using the Heretic squads for. We've got one Heretic squad down here, and the other Heretic squad is off capping exactly. Meanwhile, the entire Tyranid brood is pretty much in the same area, and we'll see that quite a lot. But these noise marines are already completely affecting the gameplay with negating those ranged, and these Hormigaunt broods are going to be actually quite vital to Tex in keeping up with these guys. Very, very wise. Tex coming in and capping the natural VP. This is a very important wreck point to cap, and it's quite near the power, which he's probably going to do a little bit of bashing, though I really don't think that that should be a particularly high priority, and they're going to get out of there pretty darn fast. Looks like he's going for the full cap. Not quite sure the point of that. Yes, they get out of there quick, smart. We do have another battle going along here. Heretics with Doomblast do absolutely crush in that particular engagement, and we might see some interception going on. No. This Terminate Brood could probably chase those Heretics, which is exactly what they're going to do. Remember, crippling poison we'll probably see crippling poison at some point. It sort of slows them down. And here we have the noise marines, and watch these. They're going to charge in and disable the attack, or they're just going to go straight for the power bash. It's an interesting choice. Yes, here we go. Going in to cancel the range using their power, and then hitting straight into the cacophony, which is that sort of, bad guitar noise. But meanwhile, the HolyHammer's forces have been absolutely decimated, and this is something that is going to be really biting Holy in the butt later on, and that is the Tyranids just don't have the same reinforcement cost that it has for their Space Marines. I mean, the Chaos Marines are really it really matters when you completely get your army decimated. I mean, losing both two models out of your attack squad is just a huge crush. It's a crushing blow. It's like losing your commander. Similar kind of wreck cost. And yeah, those Heretics, again, going for that power bash, and it is important to bash tap power, we all know that, but at the same time, it probably could have been more effective to go for capping. Which is exactly what they're doing. And tier 2 for both characters now. This is quite interesting. Let's have a quick, after tier 2's been up for a while, I'll go through the upgrades and see exactly how they're running. This tiny little Hormigaunt brood, unreinforced. Looks like he might be planning to sacrifice this. And here comes the Zoetrope. Looks like mass Zoetropes is definitely on the cards. Remember, there are no Assault Marines equivalents on Chaos, so they are going to be very, very easily beautiful use of worship to get those. They have not hit the retreat button. They can turn around at any moment they wish and put the heat on, which is exactly what they do. And now those guys are going to have to get out of there quick, smart. Beautiful work here, and you can really see the skill of these players. The difference between the great players and the average players is the use of the retreat. I mean, look at these guys. Most people would have just hit the retreat. These guys are just actually, falling back and then pushing forward, just like the squads. Just excellent use. And this he's going down. Boom. Now, Zoetrope is on the field, the first one. This is the time to take this out. He should charge straight into this base. He should put the pressure on, bring in his Heretics and start to worship, because if this guy is left to his own devices, it's going to be bad, bad, bad trouble. Get that Zoetrope. He knows that Zoetrope's got to go down. But he's going to have to get out. Here comes the Heretic Squad to reinforce. But boom! Look at that. That's the power of the Zoetrope. That was the right decision, absolutely, but it didn't pay off. Nice control there by Tex to keep that Zoetrope alive, kiting that Blood Crusher around. I'm not quite sure why the Blood Crusher... Oh, Chaos Lord is going to go down here. Or not. You got to have attack ground coming up. No, he decides not to go for it. Oh. Wow, they've got such range. Yeah, doing a little bit of healer-runski on the Blood Crusher here. Having the 2 Heretic Squads is very, very important for Demon Heavy Army, and Demon Heavy is exactly what we'll be seeing, because the teleporting Blood Crushers is really one of the few answers that Chaos has for the Zoetrope, the mass Zoetrope build. The Sorcerer hero actually has quite a number of answers in his little arsenal, but the actual Chaos Lord only has a few, and one of them is the Blood Crushers. So priority targets for Tex here is those Heretics. If he can get those Heretics down, it is going to completely crush. Oh, beautiful charge. Except pathing is going to be a problem here. He's got the speed boost up. It's not going to be enough. He really needs more power to get the Zoetropes down. It's going to retreat now. But awesome. I don't see the Blood Maul enough on the Chaos Lord. I think that is an absolutely excellent weapon, especially against heavy blobby kind of units. It just has so much power. The knockdown is insane. And where are the Noise Marines? Why are they doing just capping? It's a real shame. They'd be pretty useful in this situation. Get the hell out of there. He does put on the shield. Again, this shield is part of the Zoetrope counter. Allows you to get in close and personal. And I am quite shocked we are not seeing a second Zoetrope. We're going straight for another Warrior Brood. So let's have a look at the upgrade situation as we have it. We have no upgrades on the Heretics, which is exactly what we would expect to see. We have not got an upgrade on the Chaos Marines, which is surprising. I think we're going to see Zinch. I mean, we really should be seeing Zinch, I would imagine. And that Blood Crusher is in quite a lot of trouble. He has to get back inside the range. We do have the global ability going down. You can see the little red halo. Boom! Yes. Remember, the Zoetrope here, you can see that speed boost is so powerful. The Zoetrope does have a lot of power, but it's kind of like using the Wraith Guards. You really need to use the attack ground. Here are those new units that really shocked me when I first saw them after the patch. And that Blood Crusher can not get in there. We are going for tier 3 with, this is quite interesting. Why are we going to tier 3? Are we going to be seeing tanks? I do know that the Zoetrope uses a large amount of splash, which does not affect the tanks. But at the same time, there's only one on the field. Is it really that necessary? It seems to me that this range blob here is the one really pushing the pressure on. This is a just tremendous back and forth by these two players. How I'm not sure tier 3 was the correct choice here. We'll see how that pans out for Holy. And Gene Stealers, Tex is changing it up. The Zoetrope, the Blob of Death build changed when he saw the Noise Marines. Then the Zoetrope build changed when he started to see the Blood Crushers. And now he's going for a full stealth freaking melee, heavy melee. This could be a huge difference. We have not seen the Chaos Marines upgrade. They can switch over to Mark of Khorne, which does put on some pretty heavy pain as long as they've been leveled up. And we have not seen the Noise Marines in a while. They're just doing capping duties, which I think is a complete waste for that group. And I would like to see probably Inferno armor for the Chaos Lord, so he can start doing some range knockbacks of this range blob. I think that would be quite effective. I'm not quite sure what he's waiting for that armor slot upgrade. But look at that wreck, and out comes a great unclean one. That is just insane. HolyHammer, it goes to show you what you can do when you have map control up the fucking ass. Just pull shit out of there all day and just go, what up, motherfucker? I have a great unclean one, yo. And we're going to see exactly what happens with that now. There goes that beautiful knockback that I love to see. I really think the unclean one just, I mean, it's just not the unit to get. I mean, it's extremely fun to watch, and like you don't see it that often, and it's awesome and all that. But seriously, it's not the unit choice you want to get for a serious game. And obviously, these guys are having fun. So this Blood Crush is going to go down, and that is actually quite a large loss. There isn't actually a lot of anti-armor on the field to deal with that unclean one, but we're going to see. I'd like to see the Noise Marines maybe upgrade. If we get some upgrades on the Noise Marine, we get some pushback, we can absolutely decimate the blobby forces of the Tyranids. Boom! What's going on behind there? Can't see, couldn't see what is happening there. And here comes the great unclean one. Tex is about to go, what? But seriously, we'll see exactly, we might see like that gut grab. Now, of course, the great unclean one does count as a demon, so it is getting the increased effects of the speed and health regen. And we are seeing the Khorne pop up on the Chaos Marines, which is, I think, a very good choice. I'm not sure whether he has actually seen, it looks like he has seen look at those heretics really putting the pain on. He might have been able to take those heretics out, but these Khorne Marines are really gonna... Boom! Plague of Death. Seriously, that's awesome. Chuck just freaking throw them away. We've got the heretics in the background. This is just awesome. Let's just have a look at this guy. We never see this guy. Seriously. Blah. You're so fucking cool, man. Seriously. Relic just makes the best fucking games. Seriously, they're awesome. Okay, so HolyHammer is just absolutely crushing with map control. I'm not quite sure what Tex can do. The only thing Tex has got going for him is that he's completely unfazed by the as in he hasn't got unit losses. And these guys are going to have to get out of there pretty soon. Yes, no point cacophoning if you're going to get like smashed by range. And this, I believe we saw a second Zoetrope being built, which is going to add some burst damage. And yes, there it is there. Now, he's had quite a hard time trying to deal with the first Zoetrope, so this is going to be interesting to see how it works. Whoa, those guys are going to have to get out of there pretty quick, smart. And once again, the correct chance going for those heretic squads is the heretic squads that are going to really put the power in. And you can see it just beelining for the heretics, because it's the heretics that are really supporting this entire army at the moment. Without the heretics, there's really nothing that's Holy can do. And we have got the upgrade on the Noise Marines to put in the Blast Master, as you can see. Boom. You can see a flesh hook. We do. Blastmaster did go down, so HolyHammer is in a lot of trouble now. Once again, the super units are awesome, but is it really actually worth losing the game for? I think it's a little late to be bashing power. No one really cares about that right now. But Holy is still pretty heavy on the map control, but it's not going to be like that for long. Double crippling poison, leveled up Termagants. This is just going to be bad all around. Boom! Look at that. Bang! 4 model losses off 1 blast from those Zoetropes. He almost lost that entire heretic squad, and we really should have been seeing, instead of this guy, should have been seeing some teleporting blood crushers. I think that would have been a much better. They fly those Corn Marines into the range. That's exactly the right choice. But they're going to run straight into that army and have to back out of there. Okay, so Tex's super units is going to be coming onto the field any minute now. I think we're going to be seeing the Swarm Lord with its melee abilities as like a counter to this Unclean One. Of course, maybe not, because the Unclean One does have those poisoning abilities, which is a ranged ability, and it might be more efficient to try and go for a ranged attack. But you can actually see that Tex is able to put on the pressure now. He's actually damaging that guy because the heretics are able to stay on the screen for the same amount of time. Man, those Zoetropes are absolutely crushing. Remember, they do provide a healing aura. The healing aura doesn't stack, so having multiple Zoetropes doesn't matter, but it actually provides a healing synapse. And out comes a tank and another Gene Stealer squad. This is really where we're going to just start seeing Tex fly ahead here, because I mean, he's just going to have so many units. No amount of real control is going to make a difference. We haven't seen any of the heavy chaos tricks though. I mean, we've seen a couple of them, but I mean, like, we haven't seen any blood sacrifices, which is a very, very good Chaos Lord trick for bringing out blood crushers on the field. But I think HolyHammer getting this tank is a very, very good idea. He's got the right game sense, and he knows that there's most likely going to be a heavy Ooh, he gets the Nurgle. Now the Nurgle is an interesting one. That actually increases the tank's stats for health, like total health, rather than increasing any kind of damage. So that's quite interesting. But it reduces movement speed. Of course, that is not so bad when, of course, you can, speed it up with the Corn Worship. So Tex, I thought Tex would have been going for a Swarm Lord here, but now that he's revealed the tank, it's most likely that he's going to forgo that completely and just continue with building tier 2 units. Maybe the occasional something else, but I think we're going to mainly see a tier 2. Let's have a look. He has switched over to the Crushing Claw, which is the anti-melee, melee anti-tank thing, whatever, you know what I'm saying. And you could see how much damage that put onto the Nurgle tank. We should see Blood Maul Bash. Oh, I'm going to retreat right the hell out of there. And look at this, man. The swarms of the Tyranids. It's just getting out of control for the poor Chaos. But even though there's so many Tyranids, it is actually a fairly weak army. We are getting another freaking Zoetrope. How many Zoetropes are on the field? This is the third Zoetrope he's buying. Did he lose a bunch of Zoetropes and I didn't notice? I'll have to check that out. This is double Terminate Brood that's going around. And you can really see the Corn Worship doing its magic here. It's allowing him, by putting his Heretic Squad, stacking them across the middle of the map, he's actually getting able to control a really large portion of the middle of the map, because he can fling his units so quickly into both areas to try and defend. And the Tyranids, well, I mean, they're obviously incredibly powerful, but at the same time, they have a lot of squishiness to them. So it's not actually that hard for such a humongous unit as this Great Unclean One to... He must have lost both his Zoetropes, and I just didn't notice because I'm sucking at showing you the action. I can see one, and I did see him just build one. Oh no, that looks like this tank is going to go down. Bye bye. And you can just see that Crushing Claws, too good for it. And again, the Crippling Poison, the double Crippling Poison, one after the other on that Chaos Lord is just total killer. But again, as you can see, he is being able to force him off, and this is all he's trying to do: control the two VPs, and that's HolyHammer's plan at the moment. He's getting another tank. I still think Blood Crushers would be a really good choice here, and unfortunately, I can't see all of Tex's units, but it is coming up here. I think he has two. Is that two sets? Or one set? No, he's only got one set of Gene Stealers. Oh, complete miss. He did get the Hive Tyrant, which of course reduces that plus 25% damage or whatever the hell it was. And another Zoetrope being built, so he's back to two Zoetropes. I'll try and keep a focus on them. I spent so much time focusing on the Zoetropes and then I missed them dying. It's just fucking bullshit. And some sneaky ass capping going on in the background, which is very, very important at this late stage of the game, because it's all about attrition. It's all about keeping field presence. So you really need to... I mean, recapping power, a lot of people spend time capping power at this late in the game, and that's definitely not the thing to do, but capping the VPs and the rec points is extremely important, because it's about your map presence, and if you are back at base trying to reinforce, then you are unable to hold the field, and that is going to make a huge difference. Chaos Predator is unupgraded. And some chunky ass Corn Marines. Looking good, baby. Gonna see the boom, there it is. I love that flail, it's just extremely powerful. And there goes the poison from the Great Unclean One. Those heretics are going to have to get out of there. They do go down. That is a humongous loss, and the losses are just slowly stacking up for poor HolyHammer. I just don't know what he can do against this incredibly powerful Tyranid army. A Tyranid army that has had hardly any losses. It's got, he's still holding the middle ground, but he's just unable to hold those 2 VPs, and that is really, really the problem. And that is one of the big things about this map, because in this map, people naturally want to stay around here. They want to go around the middle, around this VP, but the actual place you want to be is in the side, right where these buildings are, is exactly where you want to have your forces, so you can go to this VP, or this VP, or this VP, and this VP, you know. But pretty much this building is exactly where you want to stand, but of course there's all sorts of pathing and retreat path problems with that. So it's a very, very hard map to hold with creating fortified positions. Unlike, say, Calderas Refinery, which is all about fortified positions. And this is why mobile armies is the way to go, and we're really seeing that making a difference here. I mean, we have such a condensed, slow army because it has to follow around with this Great Unclean One, who, even with the speed boost, is just not having the kind of mobileness that we need to really run. And I just think Holy has a really hard time holding these double VPs. You can see while his army's busy, it's being capped over here, you know. And a lot of that is due to the fact that there's just so many Tyranid units on the field. I mean, it is ridiculous. There is just a ridiculous amount of Tyranid units on the field. And when you can have, you know, he does get the commander kill, but when your commander can tie up 3 complete units and there's only 4 units on the field, and then fucking Zonotropes just blasted out of the sky, you know, I mean, it's just not good. He does put down, I think that is concede. He put it down too late before the cap went off, so I'm not quite sure what the point of putting down that was. It does put quite a lot of... That is definitely the best massive global in the game. I've actually seen... And finally we see some Blood Crushers out. I don't know what these guys are going to do now, though. Unfortunately for him, I mean... The squads are just so leveled up on Texas side, it's really just going to be an absolute shame. And kaboom! Pick him up and chuck him away. Blonk. Sploot. Smack. He's freaking awesome. And 7 and 90, unless you can get that cap. Quick, Cap! What are you doing? Cap! Cap! Okay. And there's those Blood Crushers teleporting in on the Zoetropes. This is what we wanted to see the entire game. But of course, these guys, they're just going to die almost instantly now because of those leveled up massive melee squads. And without the Heretic support, it's just not good. We've lost both Heretic squads. And it's really just... It is game over now. There's nothing that Tets can do. Not unless there's some kind of act of God, like, there's nothing Hammer can do. Unless there's like an act of God, you know, like Texas fucking has a blackout at his place or some shit like that. I don't really think that there's much going on here that can be fixed. But as expected, a really fantastic game. Some interesting choices early. with getting out the unclean one, like fast tech into unclean one, and then trying to hold like middle ground upon this map. That's a very, very strange strategy. One that I was pretty skeptical of as soon as I saw it happening, but I still think it would have been a little better if he went full demon. I have seen this strategy work a couple of times with three heretics, havoc. 3 heretics, havoc, and 2 blood crushers, and a great unclean one. Not blood crushers, bloodletters. And the bloodletters just went down. And what I mean by that is you use the great unclean one to hold one area of the map with 1 heretic support squad, and then you have havocs running around doing suppression or corn attacking, and you have the blood crushers teleporting around to fix the problem with the, overextended. And again, epic map saves you. That's exactly what I'm just talking about. The map control, not the map control, the mobility, and that's what I was saying. They have the bloodlusters to teleport around while you have the great unclean one holding one area. Absolutely excellent game. HolyHammer played well, but Tex just showing his stuff as always. I mean, look at this. The only unit from his out of his first fucking 5 units, out of his first 6 units, he only lost 1. He did lose a couple of Zoetropes. I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually, did he rebuilt the Gene Stealer? Anyway, excellent game. And, some great unclean one action, which is always nice to see. So, yeah, great. Interesting to see HolyHammer again. I haven't seen a replay from him for a while. Just look at these levels. Level 7's almost maxing out. Commander kills. Freaking 6-0. That shows you the power of that shield. And resources well in favour of HolyHammer from that early map control you saw at the beginning of the game that allowed him to fast tech to the Great Unclean one. And there we go. Excellent. Well, I'll see you later.